Welcome to the Air Shares podcast with Mavis Gregg and Otis Jennings. I'm your host, Mavis Gregg, and Forester Sam Cook is with us again. Sam, so far we've learned about the dynamic career that you've had as a forester and how you work with family forest owners. And we've also had a great introduction into forestry. It sounds like forests can do a lot of things. Like forests are really magical.
Very diverse.
Very. Yeah. This episode, we're going to talk about forest management plans. Mm-hmm. On the surface, that sounds very formal and complicated. So I want you to share with us about them and why they matter to family-owned forests. So let's start with, what are the primary goals of having a forest management plan?
So for those that may not understand forest management plan, you may hear me refer to it as FMP. It's very beneficial to you as a landowner from the standpoint it gives you a plan, sort of like a business plan.
Okay.
We go out, we do the inventory of what's on the land, down to what we call a stand level, which I'll define stand as you may have 10 types of trees in this one area, and that's considered a stand. And I look over here and you have 10 more types of trees, but they're all the same.
Okay.
And that's considered a stand. So think about it like corn and soybeans. If I'm growing corn on 10 acres, on 5 of the 10 acres, and I got soybeans growing on 5, the other 5, that's 2 different stands. Our job is to help you see what's growing on those 2 different stands and bring it up to a whole.
Okay.
And so one of my objectives with you as a landowner is to find out, what do you want when it means to owning this land and retaining the land?
And as we heard from the last episode, you had landowners, one that wanted lemons, or to tear down a lemon tree. And that was an issue to resolve, and another wanted to protect butterflies.
And I have some landowners that describe what they want is, I just want to make sure the deer and the rabbit and the squirrels have a place to live.
So you can shoot them later.
Well, shoot or just look at them. Okay. Yeah. And so our job as foresters is to listen. And the other part of it is to help you see that you may be able to do everything that you want to do with your land, but here are the options to make it happen. The one message I encourage every landowner or any individual that's listening to this, get a professional to help you. We call that professional a consultant forester.
Okay.
All right? But just the term forester, whether you pay them or they're working for you for free, they provide advice, skills, knowledge, and opportunity.
And it's free.
Not all consultants are free,
okay.
But you can also call any state agency that offers the same benefit to you, and it is free.
Okay.
If you want to dive deeper, then you pay for the consultant. It's like going to your first doctor, and it's free. That doctor tells you need X, Y, Z, but he or she may not be able to do X, Y, Z. So then now they need to refer you to someone.
Okay.
I call us the referral part, from the standpoint that someone may tell you need a forester, but now you need to get deeper on the surgery part. And how do I identify the individual that can help me see what I need long term?
Okay.
Most people want to go out and sell their trees. The biggest mistake that you can do. If you don't know what you're selling, why are you going to sell it?
Yeah.
If you know what the income potential, why are you going to dive into that?
Well, because someone's knocking on my door and saying, "Hey,
I got this kind of money.
We'll give you $25,000 for your 200 acres of trees."
Where you may be missing the other $75 an acre in a way that the professional can help you, one, sell, provide resources to reforest that section, but information that can guide you in a way that you may not have a true outcome.
So regardless of what your goals are, having a forest management plan
is
a critical step to reaching those goals, but also it sounds like ensuring that you're not getting taken advantage of or harming.
What gives you the guide, but it also leaves you with something that not only you can use, but the family can use.
Say more.
Not all of us is going to live forever.
No?
And I know you're a death and dirt attorney, So you focus more on the deaf side.
Yes. Very morbid over here.
All right. And so my goal is to focus on both.
Okay.
I want to guide you in a way that there is a plan similar to a wheel,
Oh.
that they should be in the same place.
Yeah.
So if something does happen, whether you die or get ill, that someone can pick it up, run with it, and know that here's what I want to do with the outcome. So similar to the whole easement process. When you protect land, it's for a lifetime. Are we all going to live forever?
Right.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
But if I have something in writing that someone can pick it up and read and I'm gone or not able to speak, that can tell them, here's what I want as an outcome.
I keep finding new ways that lawyers and foresters are alike. You just gave me another way.
The whole wheel concept.
You're doing succession planning around the management of the. So how does a well-crafted forest management plan benefit the owner as well as the forest itself?
It doesn't, I call it well crafted, but I call it a plan from a standpoint that it can be as simple as cut these trees at this time, do this type work to get the land prepared to put trees in. That's a plan.
Yeah.
There's language that's embedded in it that says, here's a process to get it done. Here's some benefits around doing it. And here's what the future may hold if you do it and it comes out correct. That's all built into the plan. The other piece of it is any natural resource professional, inclusive of me as a forester, can take that plan, pick it up, read it, and work with it and help you carry out your objectives. Whereas most times you don't have that opportunity of seeing something in writing or talking to the person that thought about it for you and didn't put it in writing. Here, your benefit is you have something that you can work from, very similar to your will.
Yeah.
A will is in place only for, in my mind, for when you're dead.
That's correct.
All right?
Yeah.
And so when you have that will, you may not think about it along the way that, I'm not looking to die, but I do want what I put in that will to be carried out.
Yeah, and what I say with, people believe that if they don't have a will, power of attorney, et cetera, that they don't have an estate plan. You have one, it's just the government plan. So it sounds like the equivalent, and by the government plan, I mean, if there's no will, we just rely on the state laws, which mean we don't know until the event actually happens what happens legally. It sounds like with forestry, similarly, when you have a forest management plan, you have an ability to not only set goals, but have a strategic approach to reaching those goals and have more, probability of having a healthy forest. Whereas if you don't have a forest management plan, if you're doing practices on the ground, they may not actually result in what you're seeking, or there could be...
You may not get the outcome that one you may be thinking, or the outcome that someone may have mentioned to you. I was doing a project at Greensboro 2 weeks ago, USDA, a prosperity event, all centered around landowners and how they could benefit from the land. The landowner, we had dinner with her. She was part of the speaker group. She was on the speaker panel. But we went out afterwards and all of us sat around and had dinner, and she just inherited, just say 500 acres.
Wow.
But she had land that she clear cut. She'd been working with an RCS. She's trying to take all the stumps out, and she had lots of stuff that she was trying to do or wanted to do.
Yeah.
So over dinner, she started describing everything, and I started throwing things back at her question-wise, and she's like, nope, didn't think about that. Nope, I've already done this and spent this. But I said, you told me two things. You had a nice tract of land, big trees, and you made good money. But now you don't have a plan for going forward. She says, I really don't. So once I've had 3 people to come out and talk to me about things, but no one's ever asked me all the questions that you just asked. And so now I'm working with her to get a systematic plan in place, and with the right people that can support her. Yeah.
And with her having a forest management plan now, she can correct some of the
She'll be able to
issues.
correct some of the situations, but she'll also, I think what we did at the table that night is help her to see I'm moving too fast. And just because everything that comes to mind I want to do, I don't need to do it tomorrow. And here's some ways that you can save money if you do it in this systematic way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So having a forest management plan is important. How does, one, can Ayers property owners get a forest management plan? And if so, how? And then two, where do you start with the forest management plan?
So I don't want to separate the issue of heirs property versus people that own land.
Okay.
A lot of people get caught up in that. In my world, I see heirs property owners as a form of land ownership. It's just not clear title,
Right.
but you still own it. It just means that multiple owners control it.
Yeah.
I work with both groups, whether you got two people that's owning it, one person, or many heirs property owners. The objective of the plan is to do it for the ownership.
Okay.
And so at the end of the day, whether it's just you as an individual or 500 heirs property owners, I still need to know what you're looking to do. The critical element of the forest management plan is to get people to talk and understand what are their main objectives going forward. And whether it's the one or the 500. The elements of the plan is driven based on individuals thinking about what do I want, whether it's wildlife, income, forest health, or just look at it from a butterfly aspect, beautification. But pulling all those parts together and pieces and parts together and being able to inform a landowner, here's the things you need to do to make that work. You can pay as much money as you want to someone to do that for you, or you can go to NRCS, apply for what they call a forest management plan, CAP 106, and someone will be hired on your behalf to write the plan for you. Or you as an individual landowner can hire a straight out consultant. He or she can come in and do the same thing, and they can provide you a plan. The Forest Service, depending on what area, what state you're in, they have an opportunity for you to go through them, and they can provide the same plan. Whether it's free or they may charge a fee. But how I want to lay this out is you got to start with calling someone.
Yeah.
And I would also reach out to your state agencies first, because they can guide you into the best and next step and the lowest cost for you.
So when you say state agencies, that would be like the North Carolina Department of Agriculture or the North Carolina Forestry Association?
So if I'm in North Carolina, I would look at the North Carolina Forestry, North Carolina Forest Service. If I'm in South Carolina, I can look at the South Carolina Forestry Commission.
Okay.
So each state label themselves as different, but they all work on behalf of USDA on the state and private forestry.
And so by contacting the state agency, that will help you get to someone you could speak to about what resources
you will have an opportunity now to get to a forestry side of the business that they can send an individual out to visit with you
and do a plan.
and talk to you and be able to provide all the advice that I'm sitting here telling you today.
Okay.
Also, you have the ability to call USDA NRCS from the conservation side of the business, and they can provide the same type service. Both agencies are free. Your tax dollars pay for that.
Okay. So the recap on forest management plans, if you have land with trees, you should reach out to one of your agencies, whether it's your state forestry agency or USDA agency like the Natural Resource Conservation Service, also known as NRCS, what have you. Get a forest management plan. That plan will outline all the different practices and the overall strategy for achieving the goals that you discussed with the forester. And this could be a consultant forester that's fair pay, where you're getting a deeper level of consultation, I'm hearing, or it could be you could get a forest management plan for free.
Yes.
It sounds like if you own Ayers property, you can still get a forest management plan, and you should still do that. The ownership model is not a barrier to having a forest management plan. As far as the practices, it sounds like that could depend, but it's important for the family to have communication about what the goals are for the property and the forest. And the more communication you can have and the more clarity around the goals, the better the strategy and the likelihood of success.
Yeah, and you may hear most foresters talk about heirs property owners in a way that we don't encourage you to cut your timber because of the ownership structure. There's many ways that it can be done, but we don't encourage landowners that have heir property structure to cut and harvest trees. But if you really want to go there, then we need to work with you and give you some tips and knowledge around what to do and how to make that happen.
And the hesitation is because some owners may not
All agree.
Yeah.
And heirs property means you need 100% agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing not impossible, definitely worthwhile seeking out, even if you still need to navigate the ownership decision making.
Yeah, and even from that standpoint is another way that I encourage landowners that may be in that heir property situation to bring an attorney along with them because we need to talk to both parties in order to achieve the outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I'll just reiterate, for me, working with families who are land rich, cash poor, many of whom have land and trees on it, working with them and their forestry partner has been very rewarding for all the parties involved.
Because one model I use quite a bit and with heirs property owners is I can demonstrate and show you the potential income that you have from owning this. But if I can't get you communicating to each other on a systematic way of achieving it, then we've lost. So one process I put in place, but I think we've done it our whole career, is if you decide as an heir property owner to cut your trees, let's do it right, get you the right money, put the money in escrow, and use that money to pay for the clearing of your title. Until you achieve the true outcome that you're looking for. And then I'm also showing you here's the potential if we reforest the land, you have clear title. And now as owners, instead of you working on dividing to all, you're going back to a single entity, but you still achieve the same outcome.
I love it. Like, I love that an heirs property owner's first step into forestry could actually lead to resolution of the legal
because you provide a possibility of income. Whereas most heirs property owners don't see that end result is the income model.
Okay. All right. So you and I both know that when implementing the practices on the ground, it is going to involve farm and tract numbers in order to get support for cost share, et cetera. So we're going to talk about farm and tract numbers in our next episode. But for now, Sam, thank you so much.